I've been at Yale a little over a year now, and one of the most, one of the more ambitious projects that I've been dealt with so far is a collection of 84 videotapes that were purchased from Yale Law School concerning the Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings in South Africa. On that note, I'm going to start with a brief introduction, because I think the best way to start this, does anyone know about SMIL, first of all? Heard of it? Okay, some people do, some people don't. How many people are streaming? Okay, I did this project like 5 times, and I started small and got big, and then went small again and got big, so I'm trying to stop me if I go a little too techy, or if I bore you, I apologize. So, the centerpiece of this project revolves around a collection of videotapes from the South African Truth and Reconciliation Commission hearings that were held throughout the country from 1995 to 1998. The concept behind the creation of truth commissions was designed to be used as a tool to facilitate democratic transitions in countries attempting to deal with the history of collective or state-sponsored violence. Since 1974, at least 20 such initiatives have been established around the world with varying degrees of success. The recent South African Truth and Reconciliation Commission has been heralded as one of the most effective and innovative commissions to date. And countries such as Bosnia, Cambodia, East Timor, Kenya, Northern Ireland, and Sierra Leone, which have been considering similar commissions, are being encouraged to use this model. The success of the South African TRC was attributed to a number of innovations to the Truth Commission process. First, it created space for victims to give testimony about their experience of human rights violations. Second, amnesty for perpetrators was offered on an individual basis rather than a blanket grant, and required full disclosure of involvement and motive. And third, the TRC had strong subpoena and investigative powers. Of great significance to this project was the TRC's permission and encouragement towards open media coverage to the proceedings. It is for this reason that the project's main goal is making available not only a collection of South African video documentaries that were produced as the TRC unfolded, but also to use the latest multimedia technology to make this video collection a living, multifaceted resource for researchers, educators, and policymakers. In 1998, at a comparative conference, Searching for Memory and Justice, the Holocaust and Apartheid, held at Yale University, key players from the South African TRC shared their experiences of the process and played a snippet of video from the TRC special report for the audience. Inspired by the audience's response to the video documentary, Yale Law professors Harold Coe and Robert Burt persuaded the Orville Schell Jr. Center for International Human Rights at the law school to purchase the entire collection of videos from the South African Broadcasting Corporation. Rather than simply putting the videos on a shelf in the library, Yale committed to make the collection more accessible to users by developing a summary and index of each episode and then designing a simple database with searching capabilities for the collection. These 2 phases were completed in 2002. The next phase, which I'll describe today, aims to develop the capacity of the collection to serve as a teaching tool and research resource by developing certain themes from the collection and applying new multimedia technology to create an online, multi-layered presentation. The video collection which serves as the base of this project is the TRC Special Report. The documentaries were produced by journalist Max Dupreez, who's also the host, and aired weekly on Sunday nights on one of SABC's major public access television channels. The program started in April 1996 when the TRC first held hearings and ended in February 1998 as the TRC's human rights violation hearings wound down and SABC funding ran out. A total of 84 episodes were produced, each ranging from 30 minutes to an hour. The typical format included a review of the prior week's events at the TRC, a look forward to upcoming hearings, and often a special interest story not covered directly by the TRC. Footage from the hearings was used along with interviews, background content, old news broadcasts from the apartheid era with current testimony from the TRC. Despite a small budget, a relatively inexperienced team, and an incredibly tough schedule, the program was very successful. In 1997, TRC Special Report had the largest audience of any television current affairs program ever broadcast in South Africa and ranked higher than news, soap operas, and light entertainment. In 1996, TRC Special Report won the Foreign Correspondent Association of South Africa's Award for Outstanding Journalism. That was supposed to be what I just said. Okay. Sorry, I'm new to this. The ideas for the next phase of the Multimedia project began when a group of Yale researchers, educators, and instructional technology experts brainstormed ways into which to make the collection of videos function as a teaching tool. First, a website was created with a database containing indexes, definitions, summaries, and full-length streaming videos from each program. Two words of credit go here for Yale Law School librarian Stephanie Davidson, who is here somewhere. Thank you. Hi, Steph. She actually created the website and developed the database, and Yale graduate student Tanya Goodman, who actually grew up in South Africa, spent most of her childhood there, so she knew a lot about it, sat down and watched each one tape a day, 84 days in a row, I guess, but compiled the indexes, the summaries. She did all the grunt work there, so I have to give them credit for doing a lot of that work. This is still a work in progress right now. You can access the SMIL through the CALI site, but the website right now is on a test server. We hope to go live with this, I hope, by September. But that's not up to me. That's not what I wanted to do. Okay. Pretty much what people are going to be able to do here, or our intentions are, is an online guide about how to use the entire collection. This was pretty much designed by Tanya. The way she broke it down was tape number, episode number, date, pretty much the places, the incidents, and the concept, cross-border operations. There's a lot of history here. I mean, so she tried to break it down the best she could. So at least a student or a user can get to at least this page and see a lot of the acronyms. I mean, there were so many political groups during that time, so that would actually help out a student or a user. Again, the index, which is quite lengthy also. And then, this is where I kind of come in. This is the actual summaries page that Tanya has kindly watched each tape and wrote a summary about. The thing about this is that we're going to have a button pretty much next to each one of these, and the student will be able to actually get a streaming video of the entire program. Again, as I've been encoding these, I put them in Premiere 6.5. I put a little introduction to it, which is nothing more than just reiterates the summary that you see there, which should come up in a second. And it's 39 minutes long. For some reason, whoever produced, well, nothing against Max. I feel like I know Max after 84 episodes. I know the man. They varied in length, so they never had like the American broadcast standards that it was like 28 minutes and 3 or 4 minutes were left for commercials or whatever. So it varies all the time. So primarily, if some people don't know Real Player, that's pretty much where you are in the media itself, and then that's your time remaining. So most people could look at it and say, okay, this is going to be 39 minutes long. It depends if you want to watch the whole thing, yes or no. It depends, because I'm trying to get feedback on some students and think, oh my God, 40 minutes. That's where the SMIL kicks in. They just want to get to a certain segment, may it be Stephen Biko or Nelson Mandela's imprisonment. They want to get just to that point. That's where we took the next step. Actually, getting one word about what you see right here. This is really ready to go in a sense, but we were nice enough to notify SABC and say, well, we're going to take this collection that we purchased for you, we're going to put it online, we're going to stream it for students and researchers around the world to learn about the apartheid era. Anyway, that's great, and how much are you going to get from it? They thought money right away. And we were like, uh-oh. So on that note, that's why everything here is streaming. Nothing is downloading, and it's coming from a streaming server. Obviously, this is coming off a disk, but when this goes live, it's going to be streaming. We have to get that concept across to them. I only go so far. That's when the lawyers step in. So that's where we are right now, unfortunately.
I have the exact same tape collection and the exact same not yet have permission?
No. At this stage of the game, not that I know of. But there is communication back and forth with them, and Tanya being and a lot of her associates are South African. They're going back and they're trying to go right to the head of the corporation. But it's not really his say. It's just people underneath just say, oh, we're going to take this, put it online. They think marketing, they think money, they think that right away. So we have to drill the point home that it's an educational resource, unfortunately. I wish I could say it's live, but it's not right now. Okay, moving forward. Again, just reiterating, we just wanted to take new media technology and create an online multimedia presentation just of specific segments, or I call them packages. Okay, the challenge was to combine our knowledge of new forms of media and communications technology and combine it with established academic research methods to serve a broader community of scholars. The presentations were designed to extract smaller segments or packages from within the main program that focused on specific subjects. In respect to the program's producers and the SABC, these packages are in no way re-edited or modified to suit our goals. We only created material to work around the video, and to do this we use SMIL. Okay, I was going to go into something that I'm not here advocating the use of Real. It just seems that it's on everyone's machine. It's free, and unfortunately, the marketing people at Real Networks are just a personal little note. I think they're ruining it. But we just have. It depends. If we have newer students who are using the technology, they're fine with it. But if we have older, distinguished faculty members who get annoyed with pop-ups, this is not a way to sell them new technology. So I'm looking at alternatives right now. But that being said. What the pilot program for our SMIL presentation is actually a segment that highlights the first year of operations of the human rights violations hearings of the TRC, or I like to call it the best of the TRC. Okay, what is SMIL? SMIL stands for Synchronized Multimedia Integration Language. Quick history about SMIL. It was first released in mid-1998. SMIL is supported by Real Player, QuickTime 4.0 higher, Internet Explorer 6 and higher. In August 2001, the W3C released the latest update of SMIL, which is 2.0. I believe that's where it stands right now. SMIL is a text-based HTML language designed to have the capability of creating presentations, combining video, audio, graphics, slides, URLs, and hyperlinks to sources online. SMIL gives the TRC video site an added dimension for our users to experience. I was just going to go around this clock real fast, but I pretty much said everything earlier. I've seen these diagrams before, and they always put video here, but at least for our purposes, I'm using the word streaming. Next to that is audio, and I feel personally, with the experience of with SMIL 3 years now, these two elements actually drive a SMIL presentation. I mean, you have a bit of video that's 5 minutes long. You're going to have text that's going to come next to it, images that are going to pop up, interaction with websites, and then they can incorporate Flash movies into it also. There's one thing about graphics that I've realized so far is that it pretty much supports most formats in JPEG, GIF, TIFF, bitmap, but not PowerPoint slides. Sometimes we just get people coming and go, they're PowerPoint slides, they're great, just slap them in there. I have to take them, put them in Photoshop, convert them. So for that reason, I just want to let you know, save you some trouble. Creating hyperlinks and jumping to another part of a SMIL presentation is also available through SMIL too. And again, supports Flash movies that helps branding your institution and gives credit to the content. As you see in the demonstration later, it starts with credit to Yale, but also gives credit to the SABC. So I'm trying to kill two birds with one stone, and my background's in advertising, so I believe in just branding everything in sight. Unfortunately, that's the way I was trained. And then any audio that we usually used, any background music was royalty free, so I apologize if you don't like the choice of music. Quickly, not to get too techie about it, what I did, at least to prepare for our SMIL media, to work within Real Player, is that I as I said earlier, I put it in Premiere 6.5, created an AVI file, which actually incorporated the SMIL presentation along with the segment that I just extracted from the main program. I put it through Real Producer, which I believe the latest producer is Helix. That is available for a free trial download, I believe. What this does is it creates an encoded streaming media clip, also using something called SureStream. SureStream, you can create a single real media clip recorded for multiple target audiences. This clip will automatically switch to a lower bandwidth during poor network connections. That's just one good attribute about Real, at least. You don't have to sit there and encode the video separately for each bandwidth. Moving on. Second, we use Adobe Photoshop to create slides and graphics relating to the video segment and saving them as JPEG and TIFF files. Third, we created text files that subtitle the testimony of the victims to help users understand what was being said. Fourth, we chose, or I should say Tanya chose, some websites containing additional legal and historical facts and information relating to the video segment. I've had some problems with this because we are depending on foreign webmasters. She is linking to South African news articles, SABC sites, TRC sites, Amnesty International sites. It's nice when it works, but everyone updates their site. So if I go and I test it every day, it's not there. I have gray hair because of that. So be forewarned. You can't mirror it. You can't mirror the site. I mean, let's just be honest. You can't do that. So it's a matter of if you can control it some way and have, just what we've been doing is bouncing back to our site, back to the video collection site to show in the index where you can find additional information. So we're trying to kill two birds with one stone. Trying to find a reliable foreign website can't be done. Or just have the browser open and show within our website where that additional material could be found for the student to get more in-depth for a specific topic. And the Flash movie I spoke about earlier. Quite simply, I'll just show you how SMIL works through a simple description of a network configuration. At least this is how we're doing it. It's very quick. I don't want to get too techy about it, but as a user triggers a SMIL presentation, it goes, obviously, to a web server. The web server has a folder that holds all the text, graphics, hyperlinks, etc. And next to that folder is a .smil file. That .smil file contains an RTSP. Actually, it's a RAM file, but I don't want to go into that because I don't want to confuse anyone. But it's RTSP, which is real-time streaming protocol. So you actually have two servers because it's not downloading. From there, they work in conjunction with each other, converge and assemble in a RealOne player window. The way that Real Networks has set up the RealOne player window is that normally your video plays here, any text goes there, and that's a browser window. That works just like any other browser that you have. There's a pause button right there. So as that video plays, when it's streaming, you hit the pause button, they can actually stop and search that website and go from links from there too. So that's what pretty much enticed most of the people that when we were working with the SMIL said this is great. It's just, I guess, kept opening up more and more doors for a user or a student to look into human rights violations or whatever the topic may be. GRINS. Okay. Marketing geniuses at work with play on words. GRINS for SMIL. Sorry, doesn't work. GRINS takes it a step further. GRINS is what Dreamweaver is for HTML. It's version 2.0. Again, I'm not advocating the use for this. It helped me. We were working with over 60 slides and 10-minute videos. It added up. The media was just way too much to hand code. Not that I love to hand code, but I don't mind it, but that was ridiculous. So we had to look into alternatives. This is one company. It's called Oratrix.com. You can visit them at GRINS. Check it out. I don't think they have any trial offers, but but read about it. I don't think they had an update quite recently. There's also another SMIL editor out there called Fruition that I don't know that much about, but I've worked with this. It's buggy, it crashes a lot, but it gets the job done. I hate to say that, but also what it does, it introduces a lot more ease of use, transitions. It just adds a lot more for a developer to take advantage of, maybe making it a little bit more sexy or that kind of thing. This is a screen capture of a multi-pane environment for the GRINS interface. Pretty much, as you can see right here, is the timeline. And not to go too far into this in a sense, it's just that this is where our video stands. It's episode number 54. It's approximately 10 minutes in length. I can't show all of it because I'm trying to show all three windows at the same time. What this does is it actually runs in parallel with all these other elements. So this is a video element. This is a skin, which I've created and I'll show in a moment. And this is a slide, as you can see right there. Inside that slide is a link to a website. This is how GRIN operates, at least. And underneath that is a text file. So they actually, if you think about it, if you had a playhead, in a sense, if anyone's ever worked with a nonlinear editor, you have a playhead. As this plays, it goes across, and all these things will switch. It gives it a feeling of automation, because at the end of this clip, they do end. It goes to a slide 2, and there's another website. So that's primarily how GRINS works. But it takes this code and really lays it out in more of a graphic format. Over here is another window, which is the layout. The layout here takes advantage of a background. So I took advantage of that, and I created this. It gives credit to Yale Law School, gives credit to the Truth and Commission Special Report. I put a logo here. I set up a little white screen box down here for the text, which would do nothing more than support the dialogue or the narration of either Max or testimony from a victim.
You have the whatever media buttons in that interface, like fast forward, stop, rewind.
Within the skin?
Within the skin.
Yeah, yeah. That's another good thing, because you can have, GRINS gives you templates, and usually it's like PowerPoint slides, I guess I shouldn't say that, slides plus a video. And then I just took it and said, you know what, I'm going to design my own. I'm not going to go by their templates. So yeah, you can actually have buttons right here. It can go chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. No matter what, pause, stop. You just have to indicate there. See the little handles right there? Well, that right there is just showing the region of the background. The background region, excuse me, which is nothing more than, I mean, you're fooling them because it looks like it's dimensional, but there's nothing there. You would actually, just like anything else, create that region with that button and just say play to this time marking, actually. So you can jump around that way. If you want, people, I don't know how many people hand code. If you're adventurous, go for it, but I never open that window. No way. Okay, that's the skin. Quickly, another good thing about GRINS, since I just totally beat it up earlier, is that you can lock down a bandwidth computation here. So you want to take advantage of, I guess maybe it's arbitrary, but you know, if you want to use T1, you're fine. So all your viewers better have T1, because now you're going to say your ceiling is going to let everything through. I locked it down at 512. And then what GRINS looks at it and says, oh, wait, we got a couple of errors here. What these are the error warnings. And it's just telling you that JPEG file is way too heavy. It might be 10 megs. Let's be realistic. It might be, I don't know, 60K or something. It's just a little too big. HTML plus time. It will write to HTML. GRINS will work with HTML plus time. That's where I'm going. Right there. When you publish this, these are the one version that we bought publishes just for RealOne. That's it, nothing else. For additional cost, it'll publish to IE6 HTML plus time. Real Player 8, as you can see, it hasn't been upgraded in quite a while. And now GRINS is actually looking into pocket PCs, things like that. So that's where I want to look into next, is almost mobile video, streaming, that kind of thing. Yeah, Windows, yeah. Quick history about that. Microsoft actually went to the WC3 and had a hand in developing SMIL. Right before it was accepted by the commission or as a standard, they backed out and introduced their own version called HTML plus time, which time stands for something too, manipulation, something, extension. It doesn't play in anything. No one supports it. Microsoft went out on their own, but they kind of also at the same time support SMIL. It's just like anything else. I mean, it's just a standards issue. If they ever clean it up and do that, I mean, I think that would be great. I think they're missing out on something good. I think Real took advantage of something that really helps multimedia in a sense, but we'll see what happens with HTML plus time.
We don't want to pay a license and Windows Media is free.
So was the Real Player.
The player is, but the server is.
Oh, the server is not, right.
It's costly.
Yes, it is.
Windows Media server.
It's free. Yeah, but we already had a Real server, because everything that we do for lectures, we stream in Real. So we just took that a step further through Helix in there. But Helix will also stream HTML plus time and QuickTime. Just like I just found out that some Apple servers, QuickTime servers, will now serve up Real and Windows, which is good. So we'll see. Hopefully they're all merging together.
I have a question regarding the, you had 80 episodes.
84.
84 episodes. They're all on one server. Are they on the same? I'm just wondering how much storage space you need for that kind of video, because those are pretty huge.
Yeah, they're RM files, so they're compressed. They're compressed. And each one varies in weight, because it could be a half-hour show or an hour show. So getting back to the website, that's when they go to the summary, they can see the entire program from beginning to end, if you want to sit through that. Some students kind of snarled at me. So I went, okay, I got to find a quickie out of this one. So then I went in and Tanya said, okay, here's specific situations we're going to pull out. People might want to know about Stephen Biko and things like this. Create a SMIL presentation. It's only 10 minutes long. This really doesn't take up a lot of room. All I'm doing is re-encoding another segment out of that main reel. So that's maybe, top of my head, I want to give a realistic number, but it could be anywhere. I mean, it's not really in the megs, it's the high Ks, but it's not weighty. It's not an AVI file. It's not in the gigs. From there, I put it through Real Producer. Yes. Mm-hmm. And you have to play with Producer a little bit, because sometimes it could, especially with SureStream, the new Helix Producer will show you if you want 56K, 300K. You could do any bandwidth that you want. It'll preview for you. I do it in 56K. I don't know why. It's for naught, because if someone has 56K, it's not true 56K, and you got so much going through that pipe. The video is going to play, but the text isn't going to show up, and some of the graphics aren't going to be there. So it's hard to keep a happy medium. I guess kind of leaned into that most major educational institutions have the bandwidth to carry this, so I'm going to cater to them. So it's just a little private side note. You can't keep everybody happy all the time, right? Try to. And this is the SMIL presentation. Well, it was. Are you going to play for me? And the flash intro comes first. Sorry.
On the 15th of April last year, the Truth and Reconciliation Commission held its very first hearing. It was a session of the human rights violation.
I'm going to talk over him a little bit.
This committee
The web pages are down below. This is on a laptop here, so I apologize. It does come up a lot better. I don't know. I guess through it, just in travels, I should have taken my time and done this better, but it does flip.
The evidence dealt with 4,300 politically motivated killings and about 3,000 cases.
It's a South African site. It's not always there.
Truth Commission's Amnesty Committee will continue to hold public hearings.
Again, that's the encoded video right there. It's an RM file that's playing. We're at 375K. That's coming off a hard drive though too, but it does stream at that rate.
The most successful commission of its kind.
Little animations like side wipes and things like that. That's all created in GRINS.
Issues such as military conscription for young white
That's a,
men. The activities of the state.
these were all created in Photoshop. These are text files. And then obviously as we connected the slides to go with the website. You could make these, any of these can change according to your video, because your video is driving your movie. So through time, as he speaks of something, we trigger a website. Bishop Tutu comes up, we triggered a website. So that's all it comes down to. So you need to encode your video first to actually look at it and write down your timing markings. Okay, this is when he talks about this. That's the time-consuming part. And then it's fun when you actually start dropping the media in, you create it. It really is a lot of fun. But then you have to test it and test it and test it.
In the great telling of a shameful...
But I'll just be quiet. If you have any questions, just raise your hand, but I'll let you watch.
There were the wounded and the pained.
Yes.
And I was still 20 at the time, and I couldn't handle this. So I was taken to
Windows?
place. And when I got there, Yahoo was crying terribly.
So basically all you see is that.
Yeah, I know. No. RealOne locks it in. It's, some programmer locked it down. You can't, because I would love to clean up. Oh. Windows, see, I don't know anything about Windows, though. See, again with this, one thing we want to take advantage of is that at any time a student can hit pause. That's what we want. We want the student to hit pause. We reiterate that all the time. Feedback that we've gotten so far are two things. Very distinguished members of the Yale Law School have said, wow, that's just looks like a Bloomberg report. I can't take it all in. It's just too much hitting at me at once. I got first years coming in going, yeah, next. You know, well, where's the happy medium there? But we're trying. So we've been just almost testing this all the time, showing people, trying to get feedback. Tanya's been bringing it to South African. They think it's fine. They got positive feedback from most of the people that have looked at it there. Anywhere in here, this is actual testimony from the TRC commission. Online, right there for that person. This gentleman was tortured. He's going to a TRC meeting, and he's going to confront his perpetrators. The actual testimony is right there for the student to look at. But we want those controls. We want these controls here. We don't want to take them out. I don't know about Windows.
Pioneers of the Truth Commission, those who led all the others to sow their truths into the patchwork quilt of a new history.
There's been a lot of evil. And there's been a lot of evil in this country. It's being exercised.
The commission
Oh, I know what you're saying.
cities and quiet dormitories. They sat in
A default or
and dingy schools and churches. From the Sinai
I'd like to say that's something I should tell Oratrix about. It should be, because that's a great idea.
Silver-haired elders. Others
available.
Mhm.
You don't want to have a blank screen.
Well, no, honestly, yeah, I don't, because we were showing this to the dean, and they said, sorry, sorry, this page is unavailable, and I went, boom. So, I just changed the code real quick, and did, Yale.edu, and went right back to something, showed them something.
Kind of middleware script to first look at the one and roll it over if it's
Right.
there.
Right, I agree, yeah. So it's almost, you're just manipulating the code. That's why there is a source window, so you can actually get in there and do that if you wanted to, because GRINS or Oratrix only makes GRINS go so far. But it gives you that option between those three panes. The layout, you can add buttons, interactivity there. The way it's structured and how things automatically move throughout the SMIL program, that's another one. And then you actually have your code. I mean, I'm not the best HTML developer, but yeah, you could probably do that.
Well, I was just thinking you'd have all of your hyperlinks to other sites aimed through some CGI script of your own that was either doing a table lookup or checking or otherwise looking around.
That's great. I didn't even think of that. I think that's fantastic, yeah.
That way, developer sitting right there to switch code out for them.
Right.
There were
Right.
those who saw loved ones.
But this is our first try at it too. It's my first. No, I'm just saying. But those are great ideas because I need to really talk to other developers and say, this is what we've done. This is what we have. We have 84 tapes. We don't want them to sit on the shelves. We want to make the students. I mean, trust me. Half these students that come in, I don't care about the foo-foo stuff. All I want to know is about this person. They need it here and they need it yesterday. Bang, go get it. Well, Tanya took the time to really, do all the indexing. Stephanie did all the time to do a database, so it's all there for them to access. So it's just a matter of, we're trying to really keep them within the collection, but at the same time, Tanya is the one who's pushing it to go to this resource, go to that resource.
This time, I'm also asking the same question.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Can you do that right now with what you're playing for us? Who's showing me to the screen?
Yeah, there's two ways we could do this. Actually, I'll show you right now. Something like this. This gentleman is Yazir Henry, and he was also tortured, and he was considered an informant. This is a site that actually comes up just for him. So, I mean, if you wanted to stop, close this, just move this window up a little bit. Now there's the site. You can go down and pretty much he just talks about his whole history right there. If they want it, if as these articles go by, the students can actually hit this and save this location into a favorites folder. If, let's see, they can go back on the timeline.
Disappeared without a trace.
Here's abduction. Actually, I'll bring it right down to the end. Tanya felt that at the end it should be an index in Biblio. It should come up any moment.
And when there was nothing more to
Okay.
say,
Pretty much getting back to what the buttons are, there's a button right there. I just click there, and a separate browser window comes up. That contains the presentation. Hello? Sorry, I closed it. All that does is it has all the biblio of all the links that we use throughout this production, or for this segment. So at any time, they can just look and say, okay, they want to see this guy Niwuth, who was a really bad man. Here's an article from May 29th, 1999. Now, if someone wants to just talk about, human rights violations and, using necklacing, which is a torture tactic. This guy, invented it. So a student can go right there based upon, at the end of each one of these SMIL presentations too, through use, they will know at the end, they'll have an index in the Biblio browser window to come up, so they can always click that. Did I answer your question?
For example, in this video, I haven't watched any of the video, but I'm curious if there's anything about Bishop, is he in there? Is there a way to go search and pull up that video clip and jump to that exact moment, or when you search, you just return these 5 videos, that's what's I don't know. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, well, that's what the database is for. Actually, you would have to actually almost go back to the website, but that's why yeah. I mean, I could just tell it, pretty much have this browser come right to a certain point of the page and have, okay, this is more about Bishop Tutu. See episodes 5, 7, 13, 14. He's in every episode. So that's a lot of information on him. But he does pop up in here somewhere. I mean, it's 11 minutes long. I would have to just bop around until I find him. But when you do, there's going to be an actual site that's dedicated to Bishop Tutu and his contributions to the TRC, because he was pretty much the hearing chairman, I believe.
The timing on the video triggers the text file in the text window. Would it be possible? I mean, does the link go the other way, that you could search within the text part, and then when you clicked on a specific part within the text window, it took the video to that time frame?
I haven't thought of that. You maybe, yeah, I mean, why not? If you're going to make a button that's going to go to a certain part of the video, you can make a link that way too. Yeah, you should be able to.
They're, they know that in this 1 hour episode, you're going to have the interview with Vico.
Mm-hmm.
If that text box was searchable, then they could find that spot, and then that would move
Move the timeline to where they want to go. Yeah.
Similar question. I mean, does SMIL give you the ability to bookmark specific spots within the video for
Yes.
external reference?
For external reference?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Meaning that you can just go back.
I want to set up an arbitrary hyperlink on some page that says go to this clip and go 11 minutes, 14 seconds, and 3 frames in.
Believe it or not, that's what Tanya and John Davey and I have discussed. That's what people want to do. They want to go. That's why there was two different ways we approached this. Just encode the video one time and put chapter marks in, just like you would do like a DVD. Do it that way. And I said, well, just take segments out and we'll do it that way. So what we're getting back to is what we first found is that some students said, well, geez, I just want to find out what I want to do at that time point, like 12 minutes in. That's when Bishop Tutu explodes and starts crying or whatever. I'm just throwing things out. But I'm just saying, at least you can go right there to that particular place. And I have to do more research on that. I can't answer that.
Flash and for video key frames.
Well, action scripts and things. There is a note, yeah. Because I've only really got into this maybe a little over a year right now, and through testing it. So we created this, we showed faculty, we showed staff, and we've showed students. And I've got feedback from each one of them. And now that I'm at least showing people in my peer group, I'm getting great feedback now. Thank you. I'm writing all this. I'm going to remember. I'm going to tell John, I was like, this is what we got to do, and this is what we got to do, and this is what we got to do. Because it's brand new to everyone here. And it's a research tool. And that's what we don't want to use technology for technology's sake. We want to make sure that the students are going to access this and use it. And I'll tell you, these videos are fantastic. And I don't think SABC has the masters. I don't want to say. Did I understand that you have a copy of these? You do? Okay. Okay. I have them in PAL format, and I have them backed up on NTSC.
We just bought a $4,000 web server for video that has software built in. It's just an XP box. It has some software built in. You literally press play on the VCR and record on the server, and it turns it into whatever resolution Windows Media you want. And then after you've done the first one, say it's super high res, you can right-click and convert it out to everything down to an iPad within the one box. So this is one thing we were talking about. Is, again, without trying to break the law, really make it easy, at least in for faculty, staff, students to view various kinds of videos besides like the
Yeah, we have a lot of interest and energy from the people who are involved with this, and Tanya being one, and she wants so many of her family and friends from South Africa to access this. And I'm like, okay, I kind of want to keep it internal. And she's pulling me to make it external, and we're trying to keep everyone happy. So unfortunately, I was sitting here earlier today saying, what if someone says, is it live yet? I can't say yes. I can't say no. You can actually, I do have a link on the CALI site. You can look at it, check it out. I have cards up here. Email me if you have questions or corrections or any type of comment. Yes, sir.
What's your budget?
Grants, give me more grants. Well, I'm an employee of Yale Law School, so during 8 hours during the day, if Tanya comes and sees me for a couple hours in between setting up AV for lectures or taping or something, I'll try to do the best I can with her. Sometimes I stay over a little bit. She's the one who's looking for the budget right now. She needs to be paid for her time. She's a grad student. She's going for her PhD, and this is part of it. And I guess we're looking for outside. But I'm not at liberty to really say anything because I don't have I don't have the stars on my shoulder. I don't make those. I don't have this. Yeah, well, I'm seeing GRINS, top of my head, like $200. You know, real Helix producers, whatever it is. It didn't really like break our bank in a sense. So, and we had Premiere already. We had the tapes purchased already. So there was just a little cost that we incurred. But what faculty and managers were concerned about was my resource, because I'll play with this all day. I will. I'll sit there and tweak it and tweak it and tweak it and find ways of accessing parts of the video quicker for the students. I mean, they want instant gratification. Welcome to the new millennium. They want instant gratification. Stephen Biko, just heard about him. Heard that song. Peter Gabriel did it. I'm sorry, I'm just throwing things out, but that's what they do. I want to know about them. Well, if you go to this site, no, I want to know now. So I'm trying to feed the fire the best I can. And right now, this is one way to keep this video alive. One way. And try to actually use other resources that are out there to help the students and other users, or anybody who's interested in human rights violations. Because I don't think there's any, outside of the South African, I don't think there's any other truth commissions going on right now. And they did a good job in covering everything that was out there, at least Max. That's another thing, too. I think Max Dupree's caught wind of, we were doing some type of development, and he goes, oh, gee, I'll come to the States, and together we can get a marketing plan. And I'm like, whoa, what's going on here, So Tanya's, walking the tightrope right now with that. So what are you going to do? Any other questions, or I can just keep it playing and if anything comes to mind.
They were there.
They could be. We didn't create the link to it yet, but we could. That's another way of getting it too, because as that comes up, we can have this link actually go right to another RM file that's on the streaming server, if they can wait. If they can wait for it to stream, because it takes a couple of minutes. Not minutes, I shouldn't tell you that, but it takes 10, 15 seconds.
The original's on this closed caption.
No, actually, Tanya sat down because some have very thick accents, and she wrote everything out, what they said. Any lower thirds or bugs that you see in the video, that's them. I didn't touch it. That's integrity right there. I wouldn't dare touch their work. It's not right of me, first of all. All I'm doing is just pulling segments out. And I don't know why the audio is doing what it's doing, but there it is. I mean, it's a little overwhelming when she came back and she did all the indexing. She just showed like 15 different resources for the word necklacing. So what we kept throwing in, at least in the text file, was to learn more, hit pause, stop, because there's just so much information coming at you. And that was one of the biggest attractions that we heard, at least from,
The process was not easy.
like I said, older, distinguished faculty members.
As the process gained momentum,
But all I can say is that we keep doing research and try to get feedback, try to make it a better presentation for everyone, because we want people just to walk away with better knowledge of what we're presenting.
few remained untouched as the floodgates of emotion were wedged open.
Once it's on the server, it's there. I mean, once it's on a streaming server, it's there. I'm sorry? That's just those. That's just these. That's just those. Through time, I have to monitor it once a week, or I have to get a CA, as we call him, a computer assistant, to. And there you go. That's one of the biggest drawbacks right now, is that we're going to foreign websites. I mean, the only thing we could do is we have to contact that webmaster, say, can we copy your content? Not copy it. Let me use a better word. At least. Okay, there you go. We have to take that next step to guarantee that the link is on our web server.
Or anything, but maybe you could let us all know how this negotiation turn out.
Sure.
Just because
I'll be bald, not just gray. No.
Because I've been asked by our Career Services Center. They have speakers come in and talk about career services, career opportunities, and they were talking about videotaping those and putting them up on the website.
We looked on the floor, and we saw my son lying in one corner.
Get that speaker to videotape them and then actually
it's just a regular release. I think you can get it almost, I hit a whole bunch of sites, everything from like ASCAP, EMI to, I mean, I work at a law school. I said, let me go upstairs and knock on some prop's door that does entertainment law and say, hey, can I have a release, please? I mean, I was a video producer before I got into the educational sector, and anybody that was on camera who said the word boo, I had their blood type, their resume. I mean, you have to. I mean, sorry to overextend myself on the explanation, but you just got to get them to sign it. And on that disclaimer or release, you get the name, the date, where they were. I mean, if they're a minor, the parent has to sign. But underneath that, that's where all the lawyer res comes in. You're allowing us to reproduce it, to redistribute it. We can do what we want. We own that bit of time in your life. And most people are like, oh, good, yeah, sure, go ahead. It depends. I mean, we have economic attorneys who come in who are really kind of just giving, lectures that kind of beat up the government and stuff, and they look at me and they go, I don't want it now. But they signed a release. What do? Well, we don't use it. I'm not going to anger a visiting lecturer. If they said I said that, I said it in fun, but in this day and age, we wanted to retract it, and I had it on tape, so we had to pull it. But there are resources out there. If you just go to even Google and put down not disclaimers, but releases. But if you could kind of tie down maybe a entertainment lawyer, and they're out there.
Lost forever, dumped into this river.
Yes, sir.
But knowing this was the beginning of the ending for them.
Sites you're using. Because often if you go to if you do a search in Google, the site isn't there, just back up and you cache copy of the page and you see the cache, usually just the text.
Text of it.
The Wayback Machine still running?
Yeah, I don't know how long it caches it for.
And Googling, or just for any? I'm sorry.
Well, not just for Googling. They actually cache the text out of all the web pages that they index. So if it's primarily text on the site that you're wanting to look at there, having that as an optional link might be
And that's better than nothing. You're right. That's better than nothing, because most of this is text. Either it's written testimony, so the students can, if they really want to get into more of what this person was talking about. Because see, of all things to use for a pilot program, we're using a best of. So how much information is there? If we just took one topic, so I was trying to talk her out of that. Let's just use one topic. Let's talk about Mandela. His birth. Let's get real specific. Or his release from prison. That's all. And just do SMIL on that. You can put a lot more information just in that little bit of time than trying to cover 1 year of hearings. So that's the only part that I wish I spoke up on, is that of all the SMIL presentations to do, we did a best of. So it's just hitting. This happened with this person. Necklacing came out. All these perpetrators, all the military leaders, all generals were indicted. I mean, all this stuff came out, and Tanya said, yeah, we got this, that. So we just loaded up with a whole bunch of graphics. Take that down a step now. Just talk about one specific topic. That's where I think SMIL shines a lot more, because you could do a lot more with it. It's just about one thing. So that's the only thing I kind of, in hindsight, regret that we didn't do. But now it's done, so. But, I mean, it's going to be used, don't get me wrong, but we have 2 more SMIL presentations that we want to do. So this is being the pilot right now. So once we get through the legal mumbo-jumbo, hopefully we'll be alive and well soon. We're looking at September, hopefully, so when I get back, I'll try to set the fire a little bit harder. This is something that I've used for presentations in the past for insurance companies, and we put it behind pretty much a secure server where salespeople have to sign in, and it's the sales manager who's an attorney for the Hartford Insurance Company, is who it was, but he's saying, okay, this is the new loophole this week. Okay, and if you didn't want to hear him talk about it, they had those makeshift buttons, and you can go right through to what you wanted to hear. That's another reason to do it. I mean, you can have a lecture from someone who talked about, if you're going to use this for SMIL and you're going to videotape the speaker entirely. Make sure you fill up that video screen, because your PowerPoint or /TIFF, GIF, or whatever you convert it into on the other side is going to be flipping right next to it. So don't do wide shots, because you're going to have someone looking at this. At least it's just a little video help note. You know, don't do a wide shot. Get right up on that person. They don't know, just get right up on them so people can see their lips. You know, it's a little bit more comforting. It's it's a nice headshot. Because I see so many SMIL presentations come out and you can see the person this big. It's like, what good is that? You're not showing me anything. You know, show me something. So at least and all I'm doing here is using somebody else's material. That's all I'm doing. I'm just carrying it over into something else. And then from there you could, subtitle it. You could make those text links, and then you have your websites down below. Also, at any time, you can tell through GRINS or through anything else, through GRINS because it's designed for RealOne. Again, like right here, it'll open up another browser at any time during that. Automatically open it up. It'll actually automatically open up Internet Explorer. You have that option. Actually, if I can go back in time. Right here, if you see, it says real player content. Those are choices there. That it's asking you. It's pretty much for the anchor page. So you're looking for no hyperlink, an external hyperlink. You browse. You could show in a new window, other window, and then from here you could do the real player browser, context window, or the operating default browser can open up. That's where GRINS comes in. It gives you a little added bonus because you can hand code SMIL all day long, but if you start hitting 50, 60 slides, 40, 50 text files, 30, 40 websites, it gets real heavy. So you need something like this to come in. Not that I'm advocating the purchase of it, but it's just a help. So to me, we're in the early stages of something like this. It seems to be working. I don't know of anything else online right now that kind of comes close with all these elements coming at you, at least in timing issues. HTML plus time I need to educate myself a little bit more on. But, I think we live in exciting times. I think Flash is fantastic too, which I'm learning right now too. Director, things like that. We can combine all these things. But in essence, pretty much everything else, the way it was brought to me for this whole entire program was to keep the video collection alive, not to let it sit there and collect dust. So I hope this is one way to do it. Okay. Any other questions or? Thank you, everyone. So that's just a presentation of definite maybe. It's a presentation of It's good. It's tough because it's subjective. People are going to go, I don't know. How are you? Through Adobe's? Yeah. With 6.5, the newest one that just came out, because it comes out with the new DVD encoder now. It comes out with, so it'll do it for like video CD, DVD. Sometimes it came with Cleaner. Cleaner. Okay.
So I used Cleaner. I created a
WMA or WMV. Yeah.
It was a lot bigger.
Oh, it was in the megs?
Yeah.
How many streams did you have connected to it? I think Windows has yours.
I don't think I was saved it as a file.
It was heavy?
Yeah. I gave it to people that put it up on the website.
What size was it? It was like 360 by 240 or was it 720? Because a large.
Probably bigger than
Okay. Yeah, that's why you see it so small. I don't go over 360 by 240 because I'm not going to sacrifice. I mean, I go down and say, okay, I'm not going to lose any image. Okay, I stay right there.
If someone connects using a T1 or something bigger like that broadband, you're still getting decent quality at 300 versus.
Oh yeah.
It's not as good as
Yeah, I mean, if you have someone with a T1 and you have, that's what I'm saying. If it's an internal site that you want T1, sure, have it at 720 by whatever. DSL? Broadband, see, that's why I went 512, actually, on some of those. I went high.